Epcot's World Celebration and Journey of Water, inspired by Moana, just opened up, and after half a decade of construction, somehow both of these attractions are already malfunctioning or down for repair. We've recently covered a lighting stanchion that fell and injured 3 guests at Disneyland. Is social media just giving Disney parks a hard time, or is there something more sinister going on at the Walt Disney Company? Let's talk about that on That Park Place. I'm Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place, and today we're talking about the recent pattern of Disney parks malfunctions, ranging from lights going out to guests getting injured walking through the parks themselves. The Walt Disney Company used to be the premier brand in the theme park space, but crashing light poles, near immediate closures for repair, and crumbling attractions like the Jungle Cruise make us all wonder if the premium brand isn't something that Disney cares about anymore. Let's get into that. This story out of Walt Disney World News Today photos more broken lights in brand new World Celebration Gardens at Epcot. We waited 6 years. I didn't wait 6 years. I went to the parks a couple of years back, and Epcot was full of weird and bizarre walls that made it so you had to do like 3 or 4 turns before you could go from the entrance of the park to where the park finally opens up. But WDWNT has some good coverage here from Dylan Kennedy Gray. Some large lights in Epcot's newly opened World Celebration Gardens malfunctioned on their second day and were broken entirely by the third day. And tonight, they've noticed even more broken lights. I don't know exactly what this is supposed to look like. I can only assume that these are not supposed to be muted out. For the past 5 days since this section of the park opened for the first time, World Celebration Gardens has been plagued with broken lights. The above image was taken this evening. That is December 10th, so about 4 days ago, but we do have an update on this story here. World Celebration Gardens has been plagued with broken lights. The above image, the lights are very obviously broken as the design appears incomplete between 2 points. In this section, the lights do not form an image, but other lights that have broken form a very large Epcot logo if they are all functioning, which has not happened since the first day this section of the park was opened. We're seeing here yet another section out, another section here that is I can't tell if that is not functioning or if that is just displaying the wrong colors. This is painful. And now, of course, we did cover this with Lorena Creole did the lead story on the That Park Place Daily Countdown this morning. Kara, John, have either of you been to Epcot and seen what this area used to be?
I haven't. That's actually I've only ever been to Disney World once. And Epcot was the one park that we didn't go to. So I've actually never had the opportunity to go and see what it was before.
Yeah, I actually have been to Epcot. I was actually at Epcot on December 3rd, just a few days ago. And I got to see it before the walls went up as well. Not too long ago, maybe right before the walls got put up in 2015, 2014. Can't remember. One of those. But we noticed actually when we were there, the walls, they weren't like the bigger, like, I think they were like blue. I was there last year when like the more permanent walls were up, but when we were there, they were super temporary looking walls, like really thin. I don't know how else to describe it. Almost like plywood, basically. As nice as Disney can make plywood look, but we could tell that like they were about to tear them down. Basically, we could tell.
Yeah, okay. It got to the point where paint was starting to peel off of the plywood walls there, and there are videos, which I won't pull up the video, but we are going to go over to Mickey Views, which this is Braden, right? Mickey Views.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Yep. Scoop Epcot's new pathway lights, 10 sections of which are no longer functioning a week after opening, were damaged due to excess pressure washing, which compromised water seals prior to opening. Pressure washing is also to blame for shorted out LEDs on the entrance area overhang. So this is he referring to a second section here that has lights out at the park?
Yeah, shorted out LEDs on the entrance area overhang. I'm trying to figure out where that exactly is, but not good stuff here.
So while you think about that, additional tweets here and clarifications from Braden. No testing of cleaning procedure for these industrial grade LEDs was conducted prior to opening, misuse of which has resulted in the total loss of brand new lighting equipment. This explains the long downtime for these broken lights, as it is not an easy fix. Some question here. I wonder if the previous fiber optic setup was susceptible to the same issues or not. And they're saying it was not. Now, I don't know what Braden's sources are. I would tend to think he knows what he's doing here, and he's vetted his people. He has had a good track record of vetting his own sources.
Yeah.
And this is fascinating. The source strongly defends the industrial grade outdoor water seals, pointing out that no watertight system withstands someone with a 4,400 psi pressure washer blasting water directly at it. What in the world is going on at the Walt Disney Company that they're putting up all these things that seem to go down very quickly? Vash, you've been covering broken items, not at this park, but over at Disneyland.
Yeah, it's wild. So we had a huge story about lighting equipment that had fallen on guests in a very horrific manner, sending one to the hospital actually, which was very, very unfortunate. That seemed to be unfortunate neglect. Neglect. I don't know how you would characterize that specifically, but this is just pure ineptitude, it would seem. The pressure washing that occurs at the parks is kind of a well-known thing. Every single night they pressure wash every single area in order to ensure that the park is as clean as it can possibly be. Dirt, grime, gum, other things are jetted off, and there you go. The fact that Imagineers didn't actually apply that to the maintaining of this new area right here is absolutely bizarre. I believe that overhang that Braden is talking about there was like an LED, if I'm not mistaken, there was like an LED strip or a series of LED lights that would be part of the entrance gates or tunnel as you entered in there. You could see when you were looking back. I think that's what he's referring to. I didn't see that actually on my recent Epcot visit, which is interesting. So, it's probably due to this here, and this is not a mistake that perhaps you lose some legends, institutional knowledge that are able to teach you these things and pass them down. Just recently, Avengers Campus opened in 2021, actually, with this kind of arc reactor design at the very front of that area that was embedded in the ground. And that was covered with walls and so forth for a little while there as they worked out the kinks related to that LED-based lighting effect in the ground right there. So the fact that this is, or something similar, is happening again is mind-boggling, because this was down for 4 years. This had millions and millions of dollars applied to it.
If I can cut you off there, Vash,
Please.
You're saying that this is a similar effect. This is one that they actually have experience in implementing in the parks, and they failed at another park to put this in.
Very, very recently. Let me see if I can give you a photo right
Yikes.
here, and
Well, not to pile on, when I mentioned this, I thought you were going to be talking about Goofy Splash Pad over in Toontown at Disneyland. But the other story that made aware of this morning, the walkway alongside Epcot's Journey of Water, which is not too far from World Celebration, remains closed following a high-pressure leak. This one out of WDW Magic. This is this morning, 8:45 a.m. The walkway along Journey of Water, inspired by Moana, remains closed as work continues repairing a high-pressure leak. The construction walls block each entrance to the walkway, and a large section of concrete, yikes, has been removed for the repair. Ooh. The leak beneath the concrete walkway began last week and could be heard by guests on the walkway. The pumps, filtration, and other utilities for Journey of Water are located across the walkway in an area near the restrooms by Spaceship Earth. So yeah, I guess this is the other side. I haven't actually looked at a park map of Epcot to see where relative to Spaceship Earth we are. Obviously, if we're looking at at this. Where is it? Yeah. Okay. So Spaceship Earth is right here, which would mean Journey of Water, it cannot be that far from Spaceship Earth. So you have the icon of the entire park. The weenie, as Walt Disney would jokingly refer to all of these things. Maybe not
Wow.
a joke. Is just surrounded by all this damage and malfunctioning.
If you look in the
The
private chat
private chat,
there,
yeah.
yep, that is an image of the arc reactor kind of lighting effect that should be in the front of Avengers Campus. It is since it's working okay now, but you can see in that second image that they covered it right there because they were having issues. This is only a couple of years ago. This is not, this is not two distinct teams across generations here. This just happened, and they still can't get this stuff right, albeit for probably different reasons here. The suspicion with the arc reactor there was because scooters were traversing it, and that created a weight disparity, which may have damaged this thing right here. But now it's like you have pressure washing, then you have this leak over by Journey of Water. It's like, oh my gosh, this is there wasn't much to the Epcot overhaul to begin with, and the fact that it's already failing it's just mind blowing. Go ahead, Cole.
Well,
All right.
and again, we're dealing with 80s technology all the way around here. Right.
Yes.
We need to put engineering back in Imagineering. That would be nice because I mean, this is a failure of development. This is a failure of implementation. It's a failure in many different ways. And again, it's all stuff, as you guys have mentioned, that they've done before. The side lit, fiber optics, they've done that before. Pinpoint fiber optics, they've done that before. Dancing water fountains, they've done that before. In fact, they're doing it. You still have, water pressure, things happening over at Imagination. I stepped away for a moment, so I'm not sure if you guys even covered that. But you have jumping fountains there. You have all of this tech has been implemented since the park essentially opened.
Yes,
and they've failed on such a grand scale. And you're right, Vash. The thing that makes me irritated the most is there was so little offered in the overhaul of the park that it's essentially falling down around them. The things that they've done. This is how far Disney has fallen, specifically in this area, which they used to be able to dominate in.
Now, I do want to bring this down to a more basic level here.
Sure.
The current price of a Walt Disney World ticket is about $180 and Kara, I want to throw this to you. If you were planning a vacation and you were looking at all the new things that had just opened up at Disney World, and I'm emphasizing this here, this is what is on their website as one of the premier attractions that is opening up in a Walt Disney World park. They don't have anything else opening up until Tiana's Bayou Adventure, which is supposed to be sometime this year. And we'll talk about that attraction a little bit more in just a minute. If you were paying $180 per person, what would you think if you walked in to see all of this stuff and it was operating at this level?
Did I get scammed? That would be my first thought. It's just like, okay, where is this $180 going to, like, to give me back the worth that I just spent? Like, I have issues even spending $100 on a ticket for a single day if a lot of the park isn't accessible, or if it's just not functioning. It's not worth the money. And this is showing also why some of the why the numbers and the attendees is down.
Mm-hmm.
Because people are also seeing this and be like, well, I could go to a different park like Busch Gardens or Universal where things seem to be running a little bit better and it seems to be a little bit safer.
Yeah, I would agree there. And John, maybe you can comment on this. Having seen Epcot in within the last decade, if you had the option of going into this park, what would leave you with a better impression? All of those walls or all of this malfunctioning tech?
Man, if if I've got to pick one, I don't know, maybe flip a coin. Nah, I think probably I would take the malfunctioning stuff because at least I can walk around. That was the biggest thing when we were there just a few days ago. Walking around the parks, we started our day. We were squeezing a whole lot into one day because we were just trying to get some coverage and whatnot. But we started in Magic Kingdom. There's a party, so at 2:00 we bounced to Hollywood. Wait times were crazy, so we bounced from Hollywood to Epcot pretty quickly. And yeah, that's that. Both of my previous 2 visits to Epcot have been just exhausting because of all of that, all the walls and just trying to walk around everything. Like getting to places was kind of a nightmare. It's also a little confusing. Like if you don't frequent the parks, you're gonna you were having a tough time figuring out where you were going. I was leaning heavily on my friends that frequent the parks a lot more than I do. But yeah, I think when it comes to value, especially like I know you said about $180, it's true. And then so in my case, just to add on to that a little bit, because there was a party, we bought tickets for Magic Kingdom. I was like, oh, I have to upgrade now to maximize my day, because if I don't, then I'm out of the park at 2:00, and that's just what it is. And sometimes with seasonal things, that's just, the name of the game, whatever. But it did increase that to I think 230, 240 for a day. Obviously that's not the majority of people going to the park are not going one day. So you get a little bit of whatever they would call a value there. But it is wildly expensive.
And Pro always talks about his legendary 4 a.m. fast pass that he has mounted in his office. The days of Disney staying open on one ticket from the morning until 4 a.m. in the morning. They're not doing that anymore. They're not staying open past midnight for people to stay in and not get charged more money. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Are we just being too hard on the Walt Disney Company? Is there more to this story than what our panelists discussed? You tell us, because we would love to know. This clip was part of our now regular Thursday live stream, which starts at noon Eastern time. Of course, if you're not in that time zone, just hit the notification bell if you'd like YouTube to just tell you when that is. Like this video if you like this video. If you know someone who is as interested as we are in this sort of thing, then maybe you should share the link with them. And of course, please consider subscribing to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.